So if you think someone's being untrustworthy, if you feel like someone's cheating on you, you can ask them a feeling question and see what their response is, right? You can ask them you can say something like, I was feeling really lonely last night. How does that make you feel? And if you see them have a flat face, that's a warning sign. If what you see is concern in their face right away, if what you see is worry in their face right away, that's how you know that they're empathizing with you, which they're supposed to do because they care about you. If what you see on their face is the opposite of empathy, if what you see on their face is surprise or shock or that's stupid or that's silly or something humorous, right? That's another red flag that they're putting effort into a response that is inconsistent with the question, right? Especially if I felt really worried last night, where were you? If their immediate response is like surprise, and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, right? All that effort into changing the direction of their face, you're looking for that effort. And then if on top of that, you see them look to the right, or if on top of that, you see solid eye contact, now you've got two indicators that person is lying, right? So feelings questions and time-based chronological questions. The third thing that you want to look for is you want to look for change in the consistency of their voice patterns. So what you're doing is you're listening to see how the tempo of their voice changes, potentially how their vocabulary changes, because now what you're doing is you're asking a question and you're introducing a topic and you want to see whether or not their consistency shifts. Remember we talked about effort, time, and consistency? Now you're testing their consistency. So when you say something like, I think that you were out last night with a different person, tell me why that's not true. Right? If you want to be confrontational. If you don't want to be confrontational, you can be like, tell me about your night last night so I can distract myself. Oh, well, I was playing golf with my 9-iron and I had a fantastic 300-foot, 150-yard hit on hole number 8. You're like, this is all vocabulary that you don't normally use with me. This is a tempo that has changed. You went from a flow of a certain number of words per minute to now you're slowed down or you've sped up, right? You're showing signs of panic or you're showing signs of active creation. These are changes that originated from the question. Whereas when someone's being truthful, their tempo doesn't change. Their pace doesn't change. Their level of vocabulary doesn't go up or down. They don't start speaking at a 9th grade level. They don't drop down to a 3rd grade level. They keep right with you, right where they're at. You don't start to see them use technical terms. This is something I catch my mother in all the time. Mom, if you're watching, I know when you're lying, right? Because my mom gets into very technical terms. Why is
that?
She's a nurse. And what she's trying to do is she's trying to compensate for her fabrication by demonstrating expertise. So when I ask my mom, like, how do you feel about the fact that your brothers or your sisters or my sisters and my cousins, how do you feel about some situation? When she's like, oh, I think it's fine. I mean, it's obvious that they're dealing with their own pain from grandma's death and this is the XYZ of ABC of whatever else. I'm like, you're not okay with it. You lied right out of the gates. You're not okay with it. You have major problems with it and this is you hiding your pain by overwhelming with expertise. You've heard of mansplaining? That is what mansplaining is. Mansplaining is men oftentimes lying by getting overly technical and making you feel bad about yourself for even asking the question.
Oh, seriously, dude, that was such an amazing breakdown. And I love how specific it is to, there has to be the combination. If you just see one thing, because I never want someone to go, oh my God, you're lying right now because you've just did that one thing. But being able to use these tools as part of our tool belt in order to make sure that we can protect ourselves, I think is so powerful. I've got some cases now, actually, that I'd love to go over where people have legitimately lied, and I'd love to actually just hear your expertise on why people fell for it and just like you're thinking about how it got to that point. So the first one I actually want to bring up is sadly in today's news about P. Diddy. So he was accused of sexual assault from Cassie the singer and multiple women, including past artists that he managed. He was also accused of sex trafficking and domestic abuse. So the producer accused Diddy of grooming him to have sex with another man. Diddy told him, don't worry, this is totally normal in the music industry. A model called Crystal McKinney also accused Diddy of drugging her and forcing oral sex. And after all of these accusations came out, Diddy finally released an infamous now IG video that just says enough is enough. And what he says in this video is, for the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. And then, a week later, the video of him actually abusing Cassie came out.
Let's just look at this through our lens of effort, time, and consistency. Clearly, Diddy is lying. Without a doubt, he's lying. You can even empirically conclude that he's going to lie because he has a team of attorneys, and what are those attorneys all saying? They're all saying that what he needs to do is remain consistent, because attorneys know how this works. So by seeing Diddy go back and forth, enough is enough, but then he also comes out and he's like, well, I did actually do that bit of abuse because it was my all-time low point. That was when I hit rock bottom.
So he gave a reason to why he did it.
But he's breaking that consistency. So the fact that we see the inconsistency is a big part of what makes this story so interesting to the public, because he's violating consistency, which immediately makes you distrust him, because you're like, well, you said that you didn't do it. Now you're saying that you did do it. Which one is it, buddy? And obviously, if you said that you did do it once. Does that mean that you did do it multiple times? Right? So, we have to assess based on the information. He has lied in the past. He will most likely lie again in the future. And he is being coached to lie because he is being coached to remain consistent by his team of attorneys. That's just natural evolution of things, right? So over time, you've had multiple witnesses with multiple stories. The stories are unique and different with common themes. Drugging is a theme. Sex is a theme. Large social parties is a theme. Short temper is a theme, right? When you look at the themes over time for multiple people, you have multiple bits of evidence. And going back that far in time, that wasn't always public knowledge. That video that happened in the hotel, that was recorded in the past, came out in the present, right? It's rock solid evidence to show there's inconsistency over time. That's what we're looking for, right? And then effort. Diddy's putting a whole hell of a lot of effort into this. Not only is he putting physical time, he's putting his fortune into it. He's got great attorneys into it. I mean, he is working so hard to try to make people believe that he's innocent. That kind of effort is a huge giveaway when you're dealing with a known liar.
Really, you wouldn't think that, let's say Diddy was innocent, you wouldn't think that he would do that? He would put his money behind it?
So what trained people are trained to do is let time do the work for you, right? Think about huge controversies from the past, right? When Bill Cosby was accused of sexual misdeviance and abuse and all that other stuff, when that happened,
he gave them that, the date rape drug, and then he would have sex with them.
Right. So when that happened for Bill Cosby, there was a short period of time where the accusations were made, but then what you saw was silence. And that's why now, while you and I are talking about it, I can't even remember his name, right? Because trained professionals, so a very good attorney team or a very good litigation team for him, let him know, like, hey, the best thing to do is just stay quiet. Do you know why you never hear CIA defend itself?
No, I never thought
Because they already know you're going to forget. Once you defend yourself, you bring credibility to the accusation. So the best thing to do is not even defend yourself, right? One of the things that I think the best influencers online do, and that I try to emulate, is people attack the best influencers all the time. They attack them with all sorts of things. And the best influencers don't respond. They don't react. Because they know that two things. By not reacting, they're not validating the claim. And two, there will always be people who want to attack. So professionally trained, you let them attack and you ignore their attacks, and you recognize that them attacking a wall is going to either bore them over time, or it's going to turn into more people who are attacking, and more people who are attacking is just more engagement. The algorithm likes it more, people like the attention, whatever else. So there was Bob Saget remember, he was a wholesome family man in was it Family Matters? Is that what the sitcom was? It was something like that. Full House. Thank you very much. He was a wholesome family man in Full House. And then it came out that his comedy was actually really like gross. It was sexual and it was full of swear words and everything else. And there was controversy about it for a long time. He didn't say anything about it. He was just like, this is my comedy and there's a difference between my comedy and my role in Full House. The end. Now people let it go. People don't even think about it. People don't talk about it. Now it's totally normal when you see a comedian who's vulgar in one situation and totally normal in another situation. Trained people know that low effort is going to be perceived as honesty. So Diddy is putting a whole hell of a lot of effort into something. If he was truly innocent, let the evidence carry the route for you. Let the lawyers, let the process do its thing, and you'll be fine. But instead, he's got to put effort into it because he knows he's fabricating.
Wow. So how much of him being powerful was part of what he'd potentially, because obviously he hasn't been convicted yet or anything like that, is part of how he was able to maybe hide the lie.
Yeah.
So how does a lie get hidden so much? Is it the power that's behind it?
Yes, in short, it's the power that's behind it. But let's be honest here. We like lies.
Oh, go on.
We like lies. We all like lies.
Give me an example.
You won't tell people the truth about the things that you're the most ashamed or vulnerable about, even if they ask directly, right? But if you ask someone else a direct question, you don't like it when they avoid your question.
That's so true.
So we like to, because we know inherently that lies protect us. Lies are a shield. Lies, we have a saying at CIA, that lies are valuable, but the truth is powerful, right? Lies are valuable because they hide an advantage. They hide an informational advantage, they protect an informational advantage, they hide sensitivities, they hide vulnerabilities, they hide weakness, they increase your survivability, they increase your strength for long-term survival, right? So lies are a good thing, and we all like lies. We lie to our kids, we lie to our spouses, we lie to our jobs, we lie to our bosses. We even file false claims for insurance and for all sorts of stuff. We love to lie because we know that lying will keep us safe. What we don't like is being lied to. And that is a disconnect in the cognitive brain where we feel entitled to lie when it protects us, but we do not feel comfortable when we're being lied to in a way that prevents us from getting what we want, essentially threatening our survival because now you have information I don't have and I don't like the way that feels, right? So the reason that this is important is because CIA teaches every field officer out there will always be lies, and everybody will forever lie. Just accept it. Understand that truth, and then that's going to make it that much more powerful and that much more effective when you have tools to find the truth. Like the 3 questions that we talked about, like understanding that people's instinctive response is to lie first. I think the average person tells 2 to 3 lies a day, and people who fabricate excessively tell between 7 and 12 lies a day, right? So what that means is even the most honest people tell 2 to 3 lies a day, right? And those can be white lies, where I don't like your pants, but I tell you I do. Or those can be big lies, where I tell you that I was at the gym when I was really with another woman.
How does that connect then to the power? Let's say, so P. Diddy, I'm trying to grasp at how do people just not speak up when they see the lie or the manipulation immediately? And it made me think about credibility, title. So he's famous, he's a rapper, he's been around for a long time. So you kind of feel like you trust him because you know him. Same with R. Kelly, like the same type of situation where they're a singer, you like them, they're good looking, they're talented. And so it's almost like, which is terrible, but you kind of trust them more. If it's true, where people have been hiding P. Diddy's lies. What is that contribution? Is it the power that he holds in society? Is it the power he holds over that person?
Remember how we just talked about how everybody likes lies?
Yeah.
One of the things we like about lies is because lies give us an advantage, right? What is that advantage? When you can align the advantage somebody wants with the lie that they keep, then you have the ability to keep a lie secret. So if you're paying somebody, the Diddy story is a fantastic example because some people kept a lie because they were scared. They had seen the abuse. They had seen the violence and they didn't want to be next on the list. Some people kept the lie because they didn't want to lose their job. They had a fantastic job in a big company. They were making tons of money. The sky was the limit, so they kept the secret because they wanted to protect their job. Some people kept the lie because they wanted an opportunity to be at the right-hand side of Diddy, to be the next featured artist, to be the next, Billboard top hit, right? So they kept the lie because they wanted the opportunity. The lie was the advantage they all had, and they all kept it secret because it was feeding an advantage that they needed. Here's the thing that nobody wants to really talk about. We think that Diddy is an exception. We think R. Kelly is an exception. We think Michael Jackson is an exception. Folks, how many times do you have to see a super wealthy celebrity completely melt down, completely fall apart before you realize they're just people? And we are all equally fucked up. And if we had the kind of resources that Diddy had, with the kind of demand that Diddy had, we would all lean into whatever our unique fucked upness was. For some people that's drugs, for some people that's sex, for some people that's who knows what, right? Gambling. We all have something that makes us a little bit fucked up. When you mix incredible resources with human nature, and then you start layering in the fact that, I am not defending Diddy, but let's be honest about the dude's circumstances. There were other people pulling the strings to make Diddy who Diddy was. Attorneys, investors, labels, like promoters. There were all these people who had to keep the secret. And all they cared about was, hey, keep the guy happy, he keeps producing. Keep the guy happy, he keeps quiet. Keep the guy doing this. Those parties, those freak-offs, I can almost guarantee you, Diddy did not put together one detail about any one of those things. It was 5 or 7 other people that knew he liked them. They were the ones that did all the work. They were the ones that found the girls, found the drugs, prepped the hotel rooms, cleaned the hotel rooms, wiped the blood off the coffee table. Teams of people were involved in this, all because there was something about the lie that gave them an advantage. And that is the way the world works. That is the way it will always work, and it has always worked.